When I started running, I loved it so much I dedicated my summers to long team runs on the gravelly slopes of Kennesaw Mountain. I even got gravel in my knee once, a mile out on the trail, so I had to be carried off the trail to get some sweet stitches and a sick knee scar. Those middle school summers, running 50 miles a week, still hold a special place in my heart. From drinking gallons of water a day to going up to the mountains for cross-country retreats and running every single 5K in the Kennesaw Swift Cantrell series, I was dedicated. I even bought a subscription to Runner's World magazine that I read every day while the kid I used to babysit would take naps. I loved my team members, and I especially loved medaling at meets as I consistently ran sub 7-minute miles. Athletes always talk about trying to peak at the right time, but I definitely peaked at the wrong time. Right after middle school, my running career was plagued with injuries mostly related to my naturally growing body. Femoral patella pain syndrome and inflamed growth plates in my hips cost thousands in physical therapy and left me far behind my teammates. After that, I was done. It was great in middle school, but I had moved on. Maybe for nostalgia's sake, or because I loved Coach Sanders so much, I decided to run again my senior year after taking a 2-year hiatus. So I went to Big Peach, got a new pair of Mizunos, and I was ready to go. Everything was fine at the start. I was just out there enjoying the trails and trying. Then our girls captain quit, and suddenly I became team captain. Now I was charged with the task of enduring normal stresses of senior year, combined with leading a group of girls in a sport that I had forgotten was so difficult. Running was something I had taken pride in growing up, but I quickly realized that I was the only senior in a team of 3 freshmen who could easily beat my times. Beyond that, I went to every single practice and ran my heart out, but somehow did not beat my previous times for the entirety of the season. Getting a personal best time was a big deal that everyone on the team was able to accomplish, except for me. After meets, everyone would get little personal best ribbons on the bus, but I never got one, so I just sat there in silence as everyone else cheered. I remember coming home from a difficult day of mile repeats at Allatoona Pass and sobbing to my dad, begging him to quit, but he reminded me that the Dangers aren't a family of quitters, and I had to keep pushing. After that day, I wondered how I could be a leader without any sort of technical skill to look up to. I had to find some sort of positivity in the situation to keep me going. My focus turned from my times to how I could be encouraging my teammates in all of their endeavors, not just running, but life things. As a senior, even if I wasn't the best runner, I did have helpful experience in balancing tough high school classes with social things and high school boys that the freshman girls could use. From my college perspective, I'm sure that the girls probably remember our life discussions during runs a lot more than my lack of performance at meets. Being encouraging is a requirement for any team captain, but being the best is not. In life, I've learned that anyone can be an inspiring leader through attitude and character. If I could go back and change anything about that season, it would have nothing to do with my times. I would have done more to encourage the girls. There will be unpredictable, good and bad seasons in life, and each season has something to teach us about ourselves. Everyone is going to fail sometimes, and unfortunately that's an inevitable part of life. How I survived this trial and others that were far worse is by keeping a hopeful spirit and persevering. This experience taught me that I could endure disappointment in the midst of pain, and that as much as running was not my talent, encouraging others could be. I actually wrote about this time in my life for a Chick-fil-A scholarship and got the scholarship, which is just one good thing that came out of those difficult times. Even though my running career did me dirty, I made my New Year's resolution being able to run an 8-minute mile again, and I still want to finish a marathon one day. Looking back now, my lack of improvement is kind of funny, but the lessons I learned about leadership are unforgettable.